correlation and what is regression. And why we must learn correlation and regression. We must learn correlation and regression because we want to understand the relationship our x variable has got with the y variable. You know already what is our y variable. Our y variable is the pain metric, the problem metric, right? And x variable is the cause, probably the root cause or the critical cause. So we somehow through hypothesis testing, we understood that no, the certain factors are critical. And for those critical factor, now I wanted to understand a little more, like the kind of relationship it has got with y. So whether the relationship is positive or negative. That means when I increase the x, what will happen to y? Or when I decrease the x, what will happen to y? Because ultimately, what is solution? You must adjust the x factor, isn't it? Your root cause, you need to adjust. Whether I should increase the factor or decrease the factor, how do I know? Only after knowing the real relationship. So that is what we are going to do in the correlation and regression. Again, it is a statistical tool, very simple. And if you understand it properly, you can use it effectively in your products. So what is correlation analysis and what is Pearson correlation coefficient and how to interpret the report of a correlation analysis, and then we'll also see an example. So basically correlation helps us to quantify the linear relationship, right? And similarly regression, what is regression and some terms used in regression. And then regression always there are models like the linear model, quadratic model and cubic model and so on. So how to choose the best model so that our fit of the regression will be perfect, right? And then we'll also see an example. So, and now I'm showing 3 pictures here. These pictures are nothing but scatter diagrams. The graphs are nothing but scatter diagram. Always a scatter diagram will have 2 axes. One is x-axis, another one is y-axis. And the horizontal axis is called the x-axis. The vertical axis is called the y-axis. And vertical axis is also sometimes called as the response variable. And the horizontal axis is called as the predictor variable. So this is response, this is predictor. And now you can plot this graph, which is called a scatter diagram, only when both your x and y variable are continuous. I hope you know what is continuous variable, right? Say for example, what is the relationship between the height and weight? Height and weight. As the height increases, what happens to the weight? As the height changes, how the y changes. I want to understand the relationship between height and weight. I can plot a scatter diagram and understand. I want to understand the relationship between the speed and mileage of a car. Right? As the speed increases, what happens to my mileage? Again, I can plot a scatter diagram, right? And the concentration of or the composition of the material and the strength of the material. The composition of the material is also continuous, and then the strength of the material is also continuous. So whenever your x and y are continuous, you can use scatter diagram. And now there are three diagrams, 1, 2, and 3. Look at the third one. See here, there are so many red color dots. These red color dots are nothing but the value of y obtained for specific values of x. Am I correct? As I keep on changing the x, my y assumes this value. Now, if you look at the graph, it looks like how the stars are scattered in the sky, isn't it? When you actually look at the sky in the night, you see the stars like this, right? Same way, if your points are also scattered, and that is one reason we call this diagram as a scatter diagram. Same way, if you see all the points completely scattered, you can conclude that no relationship exists between x variable and y variable. Is that clear to all of you? Not a scatter diagram. If you see all the points completely scattered, you can conclude no relationship exists between x variable and y variable. Or you can also say no correlation exists. When you say no relationship, it means No, there is no dependency of your y with x. But when you say no correlation, the word is technical. No relation means it's generic, but no correlation means it's slightly statistical. It means linear relationship. No correlation means no linearity. But there could be some other form of relationship. Linearity may be absent, but curvilinearity may be present. You need to be very careful while using the words, right? So this diagram, no relationship. And coming here, first diagram. What is the specialty here? Do you see all the points aligning in a perfect straight line? Right? Here it is completely scattered, whereas here all the points are aligning in perfect straight line. So you can now conclude your y is controlled by x. Am I correct?
Yes.
Your y is now controlled by x. And moreover, the pattern is a perfect straight line. We'll say, no, perfect relationship, perfect correlation. This is called an example of perfect correlation. When a perfect correlation happens, the Pearson correlation coefficient R will attain a value of 1. The maximum value of Pearson correlation coefficient is 1. That will happen when all the lines are aligning in a perfect straight line. And moreover, as the x keeps on increasing, what happens to your y? Y also keeps on increasing. Can I say like that? That means correlation is positive. That means correlation is positive. Now tell me the second diagram. What kind of correlation it is? Is it a perfect correlation? Yes.
Yes, it's perfect. But on the negative side.
But on the negative side.
Perfect, at the same time, negative correlation. Even if it is negative, no, R value will be 1, but this time it is -1. So R value can range from +1 to -1. In between, the center value will be 0. When the center value is 0, what is your conclusion? No relationship or no linear relationship. But R equal to 1 means perfect linearity. Right. See, this diagram 3 is something like children's playing in the playground. In a school, children are playing in the playground. And what does it mean? Children are not under the control of the teacher. But in the same playground, when you see students are standing like this, what does it mean? The students are under the control of the PT master, isn't it? Same way, whether your y variable is controlled by x or not, you understand by looking at the scatter diagram. So scatter diagram is the beginning point of your analysis towards relationship between the causes and the y variable. So Pearson correlation coefficient can vary from +1 to -1, and in the center you will have 0. So 0 to +1 is called positive correlation or direct correlation, and 0 to -1 is called negative correlation. From 0 to 0.4, it is called weak correlation. 0.4 to 0.7, it is called moderate correlation. 0.7 to 1, it is called strong correlation. More than 0.9, it is called very strong. And then exactly 1 means it is perfect. Exactly 1 perfect will happen when all the points lie exactly on a straight line. And this is the mathematical formula behind calculation of R value. R is Pearson correlation coefficient, where N is the number of pairs of data. N is the number of pairs of data. X bar is the mean value of your X variable. Y bar is the mean value of your Y variable. Sx is the standard deviation of your X variable data. Sy is the standard deviation of your Y variable data. Xi and Yi are the individual values, right? So you can calculate, but you really don't have to worry. And the softwares like Minitab and Excel can throw away the value. And now there is, what is this graph? Can somebody tell me what is this graph now?
Scatter.
Very good. This is called scatter diagram. It has got the x-axis, it has got the y-axis, and x-axis is calories you consume, and y-axis is the weight you are gaining. So calorie consumption is a continuous variable. Weight gain is also a continuous variable. Here, which is response, which is predictor, which is response variable, and which is predictor variable out of the two?
Color is the predicted.
Participate. Yes. Which is response variable and which is predictor variable? I'm waiting for your answer. Which is response? Which is predictor? What is response?
Response will be weight gain.
Weight response and predicted color is.
Weight is the response variable. So Y variable is the response. X variable is the predictor.
Color is consumed.
Very good. So calorie consumption is the X variable. See, you can directly control the calorie you are consuming, isn't it? The food intake can be controlled by you. But weight cannot be directly controlled. However, by controlling the food intake, you can control the weight. That is what we mean. Predictor and response, right? And now the blue color dots are the readings of the Y variable with respect to the several levels of calorie consumption, right? And now looking at the blue color lines, blue color dots, you see it is almost a straight line. Am I right? It is almost a straight line. So I just simply imagine a line, straight line. I draw the line in such a way that it is close to majority of the points. I should draw the line in such a way that it is close to majority of the points. And now if the points are very close to the red color line drawn, the relationship is considered to be very strong. If the points are lying perfectly on the straight line, the relationship is considered to be perfect or perfect correlation, right? And this line, red color line, is called the regression line. The red color line is called what? Regression line. Nothing but the mathematical equation connecting X variable and Y variable. That regression equation is visualized in this graph. How to interpret a correlation analysis? Before interpreting a correlation report, you must have a scatter diagram in your hand. You must have a scatter plot, right? So plot the scatter diagram, then calculate the R value, then interpret. And always significance of any statistical study should be confirmed with the p-value. See here, how many points we have taken? Near about 10, 12 points we have taken. Is this 10, 12 points gives a statistically significant finding or not? That will reflect in your p-value. We consider any study as statistically significant if the p-value is less than 0.05. Hope you all remember that, isn't it? So any statistical study should have a p-value. And never conclude the relationship is cause and effect simply based on the correlation. Correlation only tells that there is a statistical relationship. There is a statistical linear relationship exists. Always any kind of knowledge you use to make a conclusion, you must use your common sense also. Simply because correlation R value is very high, you can't say this is the root cause, right? So always we must never fail to use our common sense, even though all these tools are only directing you close to the reality. But ultimately, it is your common sense that makes the difference. So we must use that also. And Pearson correlation coefficient is very sensitive to outliers. So if there are any outliers in your study, please remove the outliers before doing your analysis, right? So these are the suggestions. And now we will do a problem.
So 1 minute. From this one slide behind, please.
The calorie consumption is
Hello?
listed here.
One slide.
The X variable.
Hello? Hello?
Yes. Pradeep, be little louder. Hello. Pradeep, are you talking?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. Keep your voice high. Yeah. I can hear you. But I can't hear suddenly.
Behind, sir.
He wants one slide behind.
Oh,
Okay.
1 minute. Let me close this. Yes, okay.
We can move now, right?
Audio input.
Yes, yes, move.
Right. So we have a set of data here, the energy consumption X variable and the weight gain Y variable. Now we are going to plot a scatter diagram. So scatter diagram is plotted. And now the point dots are going like this. And I have drawn a line, a regression line. And now what do I understand? What kind of relationship it is? Is there a linear relationship exist? Is there a linear relationship exist or not?
A partial.
Yes, it exists. And what is your opinion? Is this the relationship strong or relationship is moderate or relationship is weak?
Somewhere closer.
Somewhat closer, right? It is according to the visual study, it looks close to the line. That means it is strong. But if you are not sure, calculate the R value, and R value is, you see here, R value is found to be 0.97. So 0.97, what is the maximum? Maximum is 1.
1. So 0 point is very strong.
Yeah, very strong. You can even now say very strong. That's how these statistical values tools helps you. Visually also you can judge, but you can correctly predict with the Pearson correlation coefficient. And how this Pearson correlation coefficient is helping us. One thing is its value directly tells us the relationship is very strong. Relationship is linear and the linearity is very strong. And over and above, I want you to square the R value. You square the R value. R is 0.97. So R square will be 0.97 into 0.97. Now it becomes 0.94. What does this mean? It means 94% of the changes observed in the Y variable are because of the changes you have made in the X variable. You get the point? That means X, the influencing capacity of your X variable on Y variable is 94%. 6% depends on other factors. Do you understand? The Y variable depends mainly on X variable, and the extent is 94%. Sometimes you see, the person in any family, they take decision only based on the woman's instruction. Am I right? People take decision based on their suggestion given by the wife. Am I correct?
Mostly.
To their wife. So, to what extent wife can influence her husband? 90%? 90%? Sometimes 100%, it depends, isn't it? So, same way, your Y variable depends on the X variable to the extent of 94%. If a person takes decision, only based on his, then instead of talking to the person, we can talk to his wife directly and get the work done, isn't it? Same way, if you understand your Y is influenced heavily by X, to control the Y, you just have to control the X. So this is how the correlation coefficient is helping us to get our results optimized, right? Done. See here, the study comes with a p-value. P-value can never be 0, but the software is giving a 0 because any software will have a limitation. It will round off the values if it is very, very small. So it cannot be 0. There will be some value, but it is showing as 0. So anyway, we want the p-value to be less than 0.05 to say our study is statistically significant. Another example, an industry, a casting industry, where they produce castings, aluminum castings or some kind of metal casting they are producing. In casting, one of the defect is porosity, right? There'll be holes inside the casting. You come to know that there are holes only when you machine the castings, isn't it? So porosity is noted in one column, and the Six Sigma team or the problem analyzing team, they suspect that hydrogen content in the material is the cause for porosity. What is the suspect? Hydrogen content is the cause for porosity. So hydrogen content is very varied and the porosity level is steady. Now, which is Y variable here? Hydrogen content or porosity?
Porosity.
Porosity is Y variable. And X variable is hydrogen content. In order to understand what is the influence hydrogen content has got on the porosity in the castings, we plot the scatter diagram. What do you understand by looking at the diagram? Do you think a relationship exists?
No. No.
Exists?
Whatever.
Looks to be no.
Yeah.
So R value, I calculate R value. How much is R value? 0.625. What is it telling you? Moderate relationship, isn't it? 0.4 to 0.7 is moderate relationship. And what kind of relationship it is? Positive or negative? Positive. Moderate positive relationship. And now, as usual, I want you to square the R value. When I square the R value, R square is 0.625 into 0.625 comes to be 0.39. What do you understand by seeing the 0.39?
39%.
Close to 1. Close to 1.
Not close to 1. It is 0.39.
39% of hydrogen content influence the porosity.
The changes in the porosity, 39% of the changes observed in the porosity are because of the changes in the hydrogen content. So if you optimize the hydrogen content, 39% of the porosity problem can be solved. But still porosity will be there. Isn't it? Even after the project, even if you optimize hydrogen content, porosity will be there. Why? Because the porosity depends on the hydrogen content only to the extent of 39%. Still 61% of the porosity, why porosity happens, is unknown in your study. Isn't it? Your study considered only one factor, one cause, but there could be other causes, maybe the pouring temperature, maybe the pouring velocity, isn't it? All that could influence porosity. So the number of factors what you included is not sufficient in the study because I get only 39%. For any study, statistical studies to be strong, you must be able to know, you must get this R square value at least 80%. If it is close to 100%, that will be great. So that's all about the correlation. Any doubt on correlation? Otherwise, we'll move on to regression.
In some of the